You're listening to In Touch with Terri, brought to you by the Inbound Podcasting Network and Terri Ross Consulting, expert management consulting and sales training to help your aesthetic practice thrive.
What do you think makes a good injector?
It's assessment. It's the best thing, it's the hardest thing, and it's the one you need to work the most on if you don't have it naturally. You know, a lot of people cannot see something on their own. You know this. It's like when you walk into someone's house or someone during a remodel and they just cannot see how you would remodel this room. It's the same with the face. You look at the face, you assess it. Since I have a kind of a high profile clients, we don't always take photos. Guess what I do? I hand them the mirror and then I start showing them, well, your left lip is longer and flatter than your right lip. And we just go down the line, and that's usually obviously gets people to innately just, oh my God, this man knows what he's talking about.
Well, hello, Terri's Tribe, and welcome to episode 12, the final episode of season 1 of In Touch with Terri, a podcast that is designed for healthcare professionals looking to develop systems and processes to attract more clients, convert more patients into paying procedures, and to generate more revenue. My name is Tim Cicciarelli with Inbound Digital Media and the content marketing specialist for Terri Ross Consulting. Terri and I want to thank you so much for your support of this podcast. I have to say, of all of the shows in the Inbound Podcasting Network, this podcast has taken off the quickest with downloads and listener engagement, and we cannot tell you how much we appreciate you and how excited we are to bring you season 2. Now, the voice you heard at the top of the show belongs to Terri Ross's guest today. His name is Rand Rusher, and he is a high-profile celebrity injector in Beverly Hills. Terri will run down his very impressive credentials in just a moment. Terri and Rand in this episode are certainly going to touch on how we are all being affected by this shutdown and how you could take advantage of this forced downtime with some re-evaluation tips for your practice. They'll also offer some unique suggestions on how to stay in touch with your clients via social media, what you should be asking of your vendors to help you prepare for when life finally does get back to normal, and finally, Rand will also graciously be sharing some valuable trade secrets on how to properly assess your client's needs during a consultation.
Oh my God. Hi, Tribe. It is Terri Ross again with Terri Ross Consulting. And I am super excited to have somebody who is near and dear to my heart. He's family, one of my very best friends, and not to mention a badass, high profile injector in Beverly Hills and in the aesthetic community overall. I want to welcome Rand Rusher, CEO and founder of our Aesthetics. Hey, Rand. So good to have you.
Hey, Terri. It's good to see you. I'm usually up at 4 a.m, as you know, talking already, but I don't have to right now. So,
and I'm loving, right? Are we putting on day pajamas and then night pajamas?
I told myself, no, I would get dressed every day.
Dressed for success, people. Listen, before we even get started with Rand, because I think it's a critical time, I want to just credential him a little bit because I know that Terri's Tribe and everybody that's on here listening, thank you again so much. I have a variety of medical spa owners and plastic surgeons and cosmetic derms. I have cardiologists. I have such a variety. And I think it's a really interesting time. And I think Rand's going to be such a strong contributor based on his successes and what's happening right now and what he's particularly doing. More importantly, I think, what we need to focus on, because you guys, honestly, and I know you're sick of hearing this, but the strong will survive. And we have to pull together as a community and we have to do what it takes. And there's a lot of people that just aren't going to make it, but it's the people that focus on the right now and look at this as an opportunity. So Rand has been a nurse for 32 years. He's been a cosmetic injector for about 22 years. Also the CEO and founder, as I mentioned, of our Aesthetics in Beverly Hills. He is a global cosmetic trainer across the country for obviously two of the biggest, Allergan and Galderma. I love watching him on frickin' TV, like Extra Extra. He produces beauty segments for Extra. Rand has had a couple of TV shows, which I was on. Oh my God. He's got a blog, Rush to Beauty. He's going to start Tequila Talks. And, he's got a beautiful philosophy, which is movement is youth. I don't get you ready for a portrait. I get you ready for life. So again, thank you, Rand. And, let's just start off. I just love for my tribe to really hear where your head's been at. You have a wait list of 4 months. You're a high celebrity injector. You train across the country. and, it's halted. Tell me where your head's been and what do you think's happening right now?
Well, I'll be honest. In the very, very first few days of this, I panicked, and Beverly Hills closed us down early. So I did the thing I shouldn't have done. And I went to one of my friend doctor's offices in LA and started working there for a day. And then I kind of had to take a look in the mirror and go, what are you doing? We all need to get behind this. Even in the aesthetic industry, as much as I've got patients calling, texting, freaking out, all of us have to get behind this or it's not going to work. Let's not panic. We're all in this together. And as I would say my grandfather probably would have said, as long as you have your health, we can sort the rest of this stuff out.
You're right. We will. And I love the confidence, but, share with us if you can, because again, everybody has a different mix of patients. And I'm sure you hear it. I know I hear it. I live in Manhattan Beach. I don't live in Beverly Hills, but it doesn't matter. I think people have this connotation that, it's Beverly Hills and everybody has money. And there is a segment that do, of course, right. But there is many that don't, that you treat. And so when you just kind of mentioned to us that you're getting calls from your clients and they're breaking out and they want to come still see you, what are you doing to stay relevant and engaged? And then what do you suggest aesthetic practices do right now so that they're not behind the 8 ball in a couple weeks?
Well, I think, to stay relevant, and if you have the capability of sending out just not panic things, but to keep in touch with your patients is very different than a panic-driven state. I think that's what people are going to shy away from. We all are in it. There's this huge presence now that I was speaking to another very long time injector, and her and I both got on the phone and said, we're doing things on Instagram and things that are completely away from the office, that we have lives other than making everyone pretty or doing lips. I think this is when you're going to see, or you want to see maybe a person who's got a lot more than just, oh, I'm doing the lips. I do lips every day. Here's 50 more lips. Oh, well, what else? Why else should we watch you? And the fact that everyone shows just the lip on the thing and not the rest of the face. And what have I always told you, Terri? Lips are all about math. So when you show a set of lips, I don't care. I want to see the rest of the face to see if they follow the face.
Talk a little bit about how you actually assess the face, because we're not, nobody's filling lines anymore, right? So there's this whole symmetry, and you said it, there's this whole mathematical equation instead of just showing lips. So
I'm a big, and you've heard some of my talks, Terri. I have a talk on symmetry is overrated, because let's face this, everyone thinks symmetrical is beautiful, and butterfly wings are beautiful, but the face is not symmetric. So just because you try to make it symmetric doesn't necessarily make it more beautiful. As a matter of fact, sometimes you'll make them look like a pumpkin after that, because the left side of the face for 90% of us is flatter and wider, and the right side of our face is higher and it's smaller. And the lip on your right side, if you have a mirror, everyone, look to the fact that most people, their right lip, top lip, is more arched and it's smaller than their left. Now, I can tell you right now that most injectors don't know this. It's something that I teach. As you know, Terri, I teach everyone I can if they want to listen, because I think the better injectors we have, everyone gets raised, right? But usually what people do to make symmetric is you can't take the one side and make it smaller often. Sometimes you can with a toxin. If your masters are really big on the one side, take it down. But so many people put too much filler in to make someone symmetric, and it doesn't make them prettier. What I found over the years of almost 25 years of doing this is the one side usually balances the other side. And you need to take that in consideration first, not just symmetry. And of course, there is the mathematics of the beautiful face. But if you go to some of even my mentors, where they show you the before, during, and then after, personally, I always think those people look best during. And when they finally get to the final, I think they all look the same. And I don't, you know me, I'm not a big believer in everyone looking like they're from Orange County, and no offense to Orange County, but I think beauty is unique. And why are we trying to get rid of that? Because there's a cookie cutter method? No.
I love that. And you guys, this is so funny. I've known Rand. I mean, it's been, a couple decades now. And like I said, family, best friends. But I remember in the beginning, when I was at Medicis, he would tell me, that's back in the day, right? He would literally tell me that people would bring in these crazy pictures, like cat ladies, these crazy lips. I mean, faces that no one wants. And he would have, tell us, Rand, when you have like cuckoo pictures, like in your cabinet that you'd open up.
I would have a book of no. They bring stuff in and say, I want my lips to look like that. And I would literally take it away and go, no. And I would put it in the book of no's. I forgot about the book of no's. I think I could even start that up again. That was such a classic, Terri. I forgot that I used to do that. People would literally bring in a picture that was so bad. And they would ask for that. Like, I want my lips to look like that. And I would just say,
remember. Yeah.
No, give me that. And I would put it in the book.
Those are some good times. So, obviously you being a trainer for two of the largest companies, right? Galderma and Allergan.
Yes.
What do you find when you're training? Is there a certain area of the face that you think people need is it a holistic training that you're doing? Like, where do you think the industries go? Like, what do you think makes a good injector?
It's assessment. And that's one of the hardest things to do. It is one of the things that Allergan and Galderma kind of want me to do or always ask me to kind of start that. I'm pretty good at assessment. Clearly, if I can tell you what side of your face is which. It's an interesting thing. You think I can say that very quickly. What assessment is it's the best thing, it's the hardest thing, and it's the one you need to work the most on if you don't have it naturally. A lot of people cannot see something on their own. You know this. It's like when you walk into someone's house or someone during a remodel and they just cannot see how you would remodel this room. It's the same with the face. You look at the face, you assess it. I already know what side I'm going to. Since I have a kind of a high profile clients, we don't always take photos. Because I don't take a photo, guess what I do? I hand them the mirror and then I start showing them, oh, here, well, your left lip is longer and flatter than your right lip. And we just go down the line. And that's usually obviously gets people to innately just, oh my God, this man knows what he's talking about. And then,
Rand, I'm going to stop you right there because there's something I teach that I think that you just said is pretty critical. And I want everyone to listen to this because my tribe, I love you, but you guys know that sales, the consultation process, consultations that convert, communication style, the value of what happens in that room between the provider and the patient is something you can never, ever get back. And so what I heard him say is that the assessment makes a good injector and not everybody is good at that. And so it's one thing to say, hey, Terri, thanks for coming in. So what's bothering you? And then I tell you that I want 2 syringes in my lip and you just do it versus what Rand just said. He's telling me, right? You're telling the patient whether they like it or not, right? You're pointing out the things because you are assessing and that you think are the right thing versus them dictating what you do.
I've also learned, and it's funny, but it's not funny, when I am handing them the mirror and I listen to them. Of course, you always listen to them. Even if they're not on the right page with you, I do not spout they're wrong. We go down a list of what bothers them first. And if that's what they're there to address, we address it. Here's the difference with me, and I suggest that everyone do this. I go, are you asking my opinion? Are you asking me? And then there's a pause on some people because they're like, well, I wouldn't be here. I go, no. I'm going to give you my opinion, but I don't want you killing the messenger. So do you want my opinion? Because it's going to be possibly very different than yours, and yet I don't want to offend you. But I also get from other patients coming in from other offices where they went to a plastic surgeon who basically told them they needed everything in a facelift. And they were there for 20 units of Botox. I mean, you have to respect what they want and what they need are sometimes two different things. But if you're going to get them to be a forever patient, You don't need to wow them with, you need your temples done and you need this and you need that. You need to address what they want and then say, hey, do you want my opinion? And I think that's something that you also have to work for. I really think you need to turn that around so they trust, right? What's the biggest thing?
Yeah.
Trust. They just walked in and you've already suggested 5 syringes, and then you do the thing where you go, 5 syringes is only 1 teaspoon. Well, that's very true, but that's still of a lot of product for a lot of people.
Let's just say I needed 5 syringes. You asked my opinion, and I want to, fill a couple little lines, but that I won't be happy with that. So walk us through when you get that disparity versus their perception and your opinion.
Well, I think there's when you come to asking them again, what is your intention? What are you looking for? I mean, there's always that person that thinks they come in with $500 and then you can do the world.
Remember what you used to say? You're like, this isn't a wand, sweetie.
That's right. Yes, I'm sorry. It's a syringe, my love. It's not a magic wand. Part of my training is I say to the student or the nurse or NP or PA or doctor, what would you do if you had 1 syringe? Because that's the truth. And when people say, I'd tell them to take it home and save money and come back. Well, we all know that's a lie, because that's not what they're there for. You have to explain it. I would just say, listen, what's your budget then? I would like to get the most bang for your buck. So what is your budget? Because your budget right now might just be a toxin, some Dysport. Or if you're like, well, I've got $3,000, then I start working towards that. Because believe it or not, people with money, they will still come in with what they feel they want to spend that day. And let me try to work that out.
Mm-hmm. So let's kind of shift real quick in talking about, again, you have a very busy practice, other injectors as well as yourself. What feedback, what advice would you give people in this industry right now, having to face, right, whether they're going to keep the doors open and the lights on and pay their leases and their staff and really just survive this? Because I mean, you're in it too.
Well, I was going to say, Terri, I'm in it too. I paid my ladies through to the end of March, even though we stopped at like the 12th. I felt I should at least give them the rest of the month, even though Beverly Hills shut us down. But I had to furlough my most of my staff, because that's the truth about having a little business in California. I'm living off my savings right now, like many people are. What we did, quite honestly, is my business manager and my director and myself went through the credit card statement to see what everyday the charges that are just happening without you paying. Oh my God, we found charges that it's like we didn't need. We're not using that service. We found those charges that you don't look at normally.
I mean, I swear to God, somebody posted this thing and it's shocking. We all know time is precious, but we don't have time. We're in this rat race every day of our jobs and our life and our kids and our work. Now that we have the time, it's this lack of appreciation because we don't know what to do with the damn time. And, it's again, are we sitting here watching like Netflix all day? Or are we actually doing a little bit of what Rand just said? It's so freaking sad that it actually took something like this pandemic, for us to go, oh my God, let me reevaluate my business. Let me look at my credit card statement. Let me look at my P&L. Let me look at all of it. Because that's the kind of work we're doing right now. Where do you really think, or when do you think that your doors might open back up again?
We're really lucky. Like I said, I have someone that's still manning our phones. Mm-hmm. Our phones are,
okay. Great. Good.
She's extra busy. Because we had, we're booked. So now.
So that's another thing. So Rand, when you say that, calls are still coming in.
Yeah.
And is your goal so that when the doors are open, you have a full schedule?
Oh, I have an overfull schedule already. I'm already booked.
Okay.
July.
What about your other 2 injectors? What about those girls?
We're moving their patients around too. I mean, my director, who's now still working for me, because someone really needs to keep everything moving, because
going.
It's right.
Well, and I'm asking for, again, so that my tribe can hear the takeaway, but more importantly, because there are people that have 2 schools of thought. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say to my patients. And I'm like, God, we are all craving human touch right now so much,
Right.
but they're like, what do I do? And what do I say? Versus someone like you, where you already have this huge list, and you're in a different situation than maybe most. And so, what can they do? What can they do to ensure when they open back up, they have patients on the books? I know what I've been sort of teaching.
Well, I think that this is the hard part, at least maybe if you're a beginning, but you still have to do this. You stay in touch with the patients you can. I mean, if people had patients on the books before this started, clearly you should be in contact with those patients and, looking for a place to move them to. How are they doing? We want you to stay healthy. It still isn't it always about communication and just being honest and saying, we're not sure where this is going, but we're planning on being here for you, but we're going to have to move you out, obviously, till after April 30th at least. I mean, what I've been called and told is there's a group of people that are willing to pay more money to get in first.
Interesting. Okay, so
I was just like, you've got to be kidding me.
No, that was going to be one of my other questions, and I'm getting different philosophies, if you will, because in my mind, listen, I'm the patient. I'm your patient. I mean, my roots and our nails and my wrinkles. I mean, I'm going to be waiting at 3:00 in the morning to get in. Line up the building, right? But then other people are saying, no, it's not going to be this high of a demand because we're all saving our money and we don't have as much cash flow. And
Terri, as myself, I probably wouldn't be thinking about toxin the first thing out the door. However, I will say after doing this business long enough and going through 2008, 9/11, any kind of crisis or things that the thing that people will do is they will not probably get 3 syringes or 2 syringes and 80 units of Botox. Normally they get these things, but they just come in for 20 units and that's what they'll get this time.
Yeah.
And we have to value that because this will pass. So it's however you hang on is to hang on. I think when we go back, I think Botox and filler will still be quite busy. I think you're going to find your plastic surgeons that normally have their staff do the non-invasive. Yeah. I don't know if many people are going to want to take 2 weeks off to have a facelift after they've been furloughed at home for 2 months. I think people being taken out again for any kind of even cosmetic surgery versus, I'm going to run in and get some Botox. I would probably still reach out to my rep and I would say to your tribe, that's who they should stay in touch with too, not just their patients.
Yeah.
But with their reps and, hey, I'm going to be needing some help right away. What do you got for me? I think that's what I would also stay in touch with if I were putting that out there. And of course, I'm sure there's going to be specials or things they can do. As long as this stays in a recession and not become a depression.
Right.
Again, don't want to go there.
Yeah.
But I think if it's really, truly, we're starting to get back in May. I think what you'll see, and again, I could be wrong. I don't think you'll see a lot of people spending money for vacations and going out away.
Yeah.
I think they'll find that money to make them feel better about how they look.
100%. Listen, we're all going to be wanting to feel our best internally. I mean, God, we can't even go to the gym. I feel like I'm like Jane Fonda jumping around here in my living room.
That's back. Did you see that on the news? The Jane Fonda's back.
No. Don't catch me with one of those headbands on, you guys. That's not a pretty sight. Okay, you guys. Well, listen, Terri's Tribe, as always, you guys are amazing. My rock star. The reason I do what I do, I want to thank Rand Rusher for being on with us today. I think he had a lot of great takeaways, which were, I'm going to recap a couple things. Number one, really do a good job when you're assessing. He said, making sure you're following up with your patients and just staying in touch and, making sure that humbly, right? This isn't just about making money. I mean, they want to know you care, right? They want to know that you care and that you're there for them, but they are going to want to feel good about themselves. And then lastly, I know everybody has been on enough webinars to say, where can I cut costs? We have SBA loans. We have the PPP program. We have the disaster, and we're trying to just keep the lights on, but do some of the things that, you may have just not done. Go through your credit card statement, go through your P&L, go through procedures that you don't do very often. I just had a call this morning with a client and we went through her revenue per hour per provider. And then we went through her net profit per treatment. And it's astounding. We had to pivot and shift, like, we are not going to do these 5 things anymore, right? We're going to focus on these 5 things. And you guys, there's really just some pretty important stuff. So I want to thank you, Rand. Again, you always are just a leader in this industry. So if anyone is interested when we are back up and at it, if you need training, obviously DM me, look up rraesthetics.com. You can reach out to Rand, follow him. His blog is pretty awesome. He puts out amazing stuff, Rush to Beauty. And I'm sure the majority of us on here watch Extra. And if he puts on some great stuff. He teaches a lot on there. I think it's really great stuff. And I want to leave before he closes that. I want to read something that I thought was important right now. It says, in this darkness and struggle is a silver lining. We can wallow in it. We can go down with it, or we can rise up and seize great things and opportunities. And in the midst of all this, we have to be connected to a higher power, whatever that is and whatever you believe. Your inner strength to be less selfish, to be more present. And we need to come together, and it's faith over fear. So, Rand, thank you, honey, so much. Any last words? Any last words, babe, you want to share?
No, thank you. Big kiss.
No, kiss to you guys. Thank you guys so much. Look forward to talking soon. Take care.
Many thanks to Rand Rusher, cosmetic injection specialist and CEO of RR Aesthetics, for joining us here on In Touch with Terri. Check out the links in the episode notes to RR Aesthetics and to Rand's blog titled Rush to Beauty. The episode notes are always loaded with resourceful links, including one to Terri's online video course titled Practice Foundational Elements, Your Roadmap to a 7-Figure Medical Practice. Now, during the shutdown, this is the absolute perfect time to invest your time to really study the valuable information in this course so you can come out of this shutdown even stronger than before, armed with the same strategies that helped Terri herself scale a Beverly Hills medical spa yielding growth of $600,000 in just 1 year. So what are you waiting for? Go to the episode notes, check out the links, and learn more about this online course and how to sign up for it. My company, Inbound Films, had the pleasure of filming the video for Terri's course and all of the marketing videos for Terri's Beverly Hills Medical Spa. And we would love an opportunity to help you achieve the same success Terri had with video marketing. I offer free video conferencing consultations via Zoom, and if we're a fit, we can use this downtime to begin our strategic pre-production process so that we can be ready to film as soon as it is responsible to do so. So check out the links in the episode notes and find all the ways that you can contact me. I'd love to chat with you. Finally, don't forget to subscribe to In Touch with Terri in whichever podcast platform you're enjoying the show from so you don't miss a single episode. We just wrapped Season 1 and we can't wait to have you back for Season 2. For Terri Ross of Terri Ross Consulting, I'm Tim Cicciarelli with Inbound Films and the Inbound Podcasting Network.